Thank you. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night panicking about where your next meal would come? Have you ever had to become a regular at the pawn shop just so you can make rent? Have you ever had to share a room with a friend, a room that you'd been living in for months, just so you can pay your part of the rent? This is the grim reality that faces over 300,000 Arizonans on a daily basis living on the minimum wage. While a student in college, I took on a minimum wage job to try to make ends meet and afford life independent of my family, a family that had just lost their home during the recession. While it looked like it'd be a turning point to a strong, financially independent future, the reality was far from it. As a faceless, expendable employee, I was forced to work over 40 hours a week and paid less than that, with the threat of losing my job if I spoke out. Food was not just a valuable life necessity, it became a hot commodity and it did not come by easily. I had to receive monthly food boxes from St. Mary's Food Bank and eat whatever scraps were sent back, or I would go hungry at the end of the day. I was forced to work hours incongruent with my school schedule, or I would no longer be welcome back the next day. These challenges do not only weigh on a person's economic well-being, but on physical and mental well-being too. Sleep was non-existent, for I had fear of what the next day would bring. The quality of food acquired through these means was atrocious. I'd be eating boxed cornbread mix one day, sweet rolls the next, and fast food sandwiches for every meal of every day, just so I had enough sustenance to make it to the next. There was no fruit, there was no meat, there was nothing fresh for over a year. And worst of all, I still had it better than most of the people I worked with. I had to worry about just myself, not a spouse, not children that I had to feed or clothe. I knew people who worked for companies that would steal from the very same company just so they could afford to eat and pay rent. These are not choices that in the wealthiest nation on earth, any person should have to face. Every time the minimum wage has been raised in this country's history, there have been threats that the economy would falter and shatter. Yet here we are, and you can still go to McDonald's and get a burger for $1, or to the grocery store and get a gallon of milk for only $3. In fact, just the opposite is true. In more than half the states where they've raised the minimum wage during times of high unemployment, we've seen a dramatic decrease in unemployment. It is imperative that we raise the minimum wage today so people like Perrin can work one job, not 3, and support his family of 4. It is imperative that we raise the minimum wage today so that people like Taylor don't have to go and steal from their employer just so they can afford to live. It is imperative that we raise the minimum wage today so every American has the same opportunity to achieve greatness or even just a peace of mind. Thank you.